Hey guys, this is Will and Shaunn with Cash Flow Generation. We were a guest in the No Closing Show. In this show, we talked about generational wealth, cash flow, notes, and the vision that we have for not just our company, but our communities as well. Tune in. It's going to be a great show.
God bless.
This is the Note Closer Show, where you get the latest developments in distressed note investing and learn the secrets of how you can control millions of dollars worth of property for pennies on the dollar. Get educated and entertained by someone who has closed thousands of deals and lives to support you in achieving the same. Now, here's your host, CEO of REOs Notes, Scott Carson.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Note Closer Show. As always, Scott Carson. Excited to be here with you today. And I got a couple guys that are just flat out hustling, doing some amazing stuff out there. You may have seen some of their Instagram reels or their IGTV stuff or the videos they're posting up on LinkedIn and other things. When I see somebody who knows marketing and is spending time in the note business, I get excited like a little kid at Christmas. And so we are honored to have a couple rock star investors out of the San Diego, my second city, specializing in the note space. They're also the authors and creators of the YouTube channel and podcast called Cash Flow Generation. So you're going to want to check it out. We'll have the links below in the description and also on the blog. But their mission, as they like to say, is to help people build generational wealth through real estate. And so we're honored to have Shaunn Will join us today. What's going on, guys? You guys doing all right today?
Yes,
Doing
sir.
good. We're
Yes,
doing
sir.
good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us on.
Anytime, guys. So let's talk about some things. So let's talk about why the note space, or probably better at how did you get into where your guys are working together, or how did you guys kind of get to where you're at today? And why don't we start first with Shaunn? Let's start first with you, bud.
Well, I started in real estate in general as a real estate agent.
Okay.
My mentor, which is one of your former students.
Desi Arnaz, baby.
Yeah,
Yes. Gotta love Desi.
Yeah. He was the one that was mentoring me in the real estate space and now mentoring me in the note space. And I met him actually he was a previous client of mine. I used to work for a communications company. So he was one of my clients that I helped set up some cellular service for. And that's how I met him. And I started talking to him about real estate. He loves talking about real estate. I love real estate.
Don't get him started, man. That fedora will be bobbing up and down.
Yeah. So that's how I got into real estate after becoming a real estate agent. He started telling me about notes and being the bank. And as soon as I heard being the bank, I'm like, wait a minute, what? So
that's always an exciting thing when you hear that, because it's a different kind of, so many agents, and this is not to bash agents, many of them are so stuck inside the box, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't understand the concept of creative financing. What? It's not a bank loan. What? Owner financing. What? Notes. What's that?
Right.
When it's been around for decades, and that's an unfortunate thing. Desi's one of those few realtors that really found that valuable and is really spreading the word out there for you in a variety of things, especially in San Diego. So that's a beautiful thing. So you get into it, you start buying notes, you just start working through some deals. What kind of that concept there?
Start buying it. I bought a couple of notes, started working through some deals, looking at different deals, analyzing deals, him showing me the calculations, things like that. And I was like, man, this is awesome. You can get some of the same kind of returns as flipping a house or being a landlord, but I don't have to deal with all of that. I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I like
changes.
It's a game changer.
You mean I can make more than my 3% commission?
Right.
Right.
Come on, because we's all about the dollar bills, y'all, right?
Ooh, I like that.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. So, Will, tell us about your journey. How'd you get where you're at today?
For me, actually, I have an intensive background in the transportation industry. So I actually worked with even a Fortune 500 company, helping with factoring. It's another way of finance, right? Lines of credit, getting them paid, after they deliver the load. And I was doing that for a period of time. Afterwards, I actually started helping government contractors with similar stuff. But then I connected with Shaunn during the Toastmasters event.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. And I guess we both went to the same church and we started hanging out. He started talking to me about notes and real estate. And I'm like, well, my mentor has actually been telling me to get into real estate, but I just didn't want to sell houses. I was like, that's not my thing, right? I'm more like a people guy, right? So, we started, talking shop and, he introduced me to Desi, exposed me to notes. And I'm like, you know what? Like, this is a good place to be at. And that's when, for me, I pretty much quit my job, right? My job that was secured and the job that I liked, because I had like 5 telemarketers calling and then sending me leads. And I pretty much had a big influence in that company. But I realized that at the end of the day, I need to start building wealth for myself, not, building somebody else's. So that's why I quit my job. And I've been in the journey now for, a little bit less than a year with Shaunn. So yeah, it's been exciting.
That is exciting. That's kind of a funny thing. Now, did you guys found out you went to the same church?
Yeah.
And didn't know each other at a Toastmasters, huh?
Nope,
right.
Not at all.
Now, Shaunn, were you already starting to talk about note investing and real estate investing at the Toastmasters? Is your way to kind of why'd you sign up for Toastmasters? Is it just to get better at speaking or what?
Yes, that's what initially I signed up to, just get better at public speaking, because I know in general, as far as being in real estate, being in, this space, you have to talk to people. You're going to have to get in front of people. And that's something I wanted to get more comfortable with, getting in front of larger crowds of people and things like that. So I joined Toastmasters and met Will there. And, Will's like, so what do you do? And, and of course I started talking about real estate.
And Will, you're sitting there, real estate, I was just a realtor. Doesn't excite me. I don't want to go out showing houses and having open houses and carting women around or men around. They're going to change their mind 20 times, right?
Yeah. Because that's when I thought about real estate. That's the only thing I thought about. Like being a broker or being a realtor, selling houses. That's all my mind, went to. Just because, again, I've never been in this industry. I was more in the transportation industry. So
right. So that's a big jump, different aspect of things, but also kind of a huge jump, a big learning curve, trying to figure everything out and learn everything on the front. But also, I think it's a benefit for you because you don't have a lot of these preconceived notions or bad habits of what can or can't happen, right?
Right. And I think my mentor, which is Owen Video, took me under his wing, started telling me, hey, start reading books, start doing this, start buying, just kind of pushed me. And I think he laid most of the foundation that I have now. So the attitude that I have going in anywhere is, okay, God called me to be a leader. How's that going to look like, right? I want to impact my communities. How does that look like? So in my mind, it's almost like I have a big vision and I'm setting myself disciplines to get there. So I have like a no excuse mentality.
Well, every great journey starts with the first steps. You know what I mean? Right. And that's the biggest thing. A lot of people don't have the patience these days. They want overnight success. They want to go viral. What's the least I have to do to find success? Well, that doesn't work. Those things don't add up. And it's the learning curve. It's being mentored by people local or other things to help you read your mind and podcasts or books, stuff like that, to start taking that next journey, which is awesome. Kudos to you. So you decide to do this note business thing. Your friends, you guys partner up. What's been your focus of your investment? Now, I know it's probably a mixture of real estate and notes. If you're in San Diego, you probably have a little bit of that. But let's talk kind of when you guys were sitting down. Let's partner up. What's kind of been your focus? What's been your if you were to look at, here's what we kind of focus on for our real estate business. What are kind of the assets you guys are looking for?
The main assets we look at are, of course, residential, small commercial, and multifamily. Okay. Because one thing is multifamily. I've always really liked multifamily. Talking to Will about it and him starting to understand that, it's like, man, being on the note side and multifamily, that's like kind of like the best of both worlds. So that's where our focus is right now. Like he said, his mentor, which I've met, is Owen Video. That's how we really started doing a lot of video.
Oh yeah, big time.
So
yeah, when I recently connected with him, started reading this book. And by the way, I want you to do a video for 30 days, 1 minute long, starting tomorrow. Go. And I'm like, I don't do video. He's like, yeah, that's your problem.
That's everybody's problem for the most part, right?
So that's how I started doing videos. And then obviously when we connected, I was like, let's make some videos. That's what I know, right?
And I'm like, I don't do video. He was like, well, we're gonna do video now.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. And for those that are listening out there, you got to start somewhere. I bet those first couple videos, you cringe looking at them because you've probably gotten so much better. But that's where you see the most amount of improvement is, hey, just throw up a smartphone or an iPhone and just start shooting a little bit.
Oh, big time.
It's so much easier than it used to be. How have you seen it? Because you put a lot of production value into your videos, and it's the conversation that I talk about. What have you guys started to see coming from that?
Well, just in LinkedIn alone, the reason we're actually shooting videos from YouTube and we're getting some connections there, which is great. Then we go into LinkedIn. That's the two platforms that I want to focus on, just because that's ideally where I wanted to really improve on, because LinkedIn is where a lot of the money's at, right?
Yep.
Facebook and Instagram, I kind of looked at it more because I have a lot of friends on both platforms, and I'm very vocal about other stuff. And so they already follow me. I already kind of build my person there. So anything that I post about business, they don't really take me that serious, right? Because I never really posted business stuff, more personal stuff. So now I figured I could kind of start fresh on LinkedIn and on YouTube. And just from LinkedIn alone, we're repurposing our YouTube videos, making 5-6 square videos from one video. And then we're getting connection with multifamily people and potential investors. I mean, you name it, right? They're really engaging in our platform, which is great. We've been having some great connections, great conversations, and even helping other entrepreneurs.
That's a beautiful thing. I mean, that's the thing. If you can help educate, you come from a servant leadership mindset, which you guys obviously both have. Obviously,
John Maxwell, 111.
Amen to that. Yeah, exactly. John's a great guy.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize that, because it's how is this video going to get me 1 million views? Well, you don't need 1 million views. In the words of Gary Vaynerchuk, if you have one viewer, you impact, especially on LinkedIn. It's not the same thing as Facebook. Okay. Yeah. Or you guys popping and locking on TikTok. You got to check out that. You got to check out their private channel. It's pretty funny. No, I'm just joking. Right. But you mentioned something there. You're spending the time where the eyes and the ears
matter.
YouTube is your 24-hour, 7-day a week, 365 a year, basically advertising for you, if you know how to set that up. And then LinkedIn, obviously, that's where the decision makers are at. That's where the money makers are at.
Right.
They're not on Facebook channels complaining about the election or COVID or anything else.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what my mentor drilled in me. He's like, Facebook and Instagram, you really have to capture people's attention. Similar to LinkedIn, but they really want to be entertained. So they have that scrolling attitude, right? And on YouTube, people actually stop and then turn their phones to actually watch the video, the 20, 30-minute video. So he's pushing us to make videos that are over 10 minutes, but we want to keep it short and sweet because we don't want to say too much. So that's kind of like our challenge right now, right? Trying to do longer videos, but keep people's attention in. And I get it. Like, finance is not really very attractive, right?
It's not sexy.
It's not sexy, especially note investing. It's different when you have like a.
Oh, come on now. Note investing is damn sexy. With
it is very sexy.
Come on now.
We're pushing paper. I make a rap song from that.
Dollar bills, y'all. Dollar bills. Make it rain. Yeah. So Shaunn, coming from you, where you're like, okay, great. I don't want the hell to do video. What's great here is if you're not watching this, you're listening to this, you can see the yin to the yang with these two fellas. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So Shaunn, you coming like, I don't want to do video. I'll talk, but I don't want to do video. How have you overcome nervousness or not wanting to embrace that? And I'm not saying you have embraced it now, but initially, I don't want to do video. How do you overcome it for those out there that are maybe struggling? Because obviously Will's like, I just put me in front of the camera. I'm rocking and rolling. I'll be a show pony, right?
Exactly.
But a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to be in front of the camera. Could you talk about that kind of something, how you overcame some of that inner self-doubt, or talk about that?
For me, this is something that Desi's been hammering into me for over a year. Do video. And I'm like, you know what? Will finally, he was like, bro, just go ahead and just jump in. Just do it. He was like, don't worry about. He's like, don't pay attention to the camera. Act like the camera's not even there, and just talk. He's like, you have the information, you know what you're talking about. Let's just talk. And I was just like, okay. The first time I was like, we use I'm gonna be honest. The first time we use a teleprompter.
Yeah.
And to get through it, but then after a while, now it's just like, let's just go. Turn on the camera. Let's hit it.
You got 3-4 points with the highlights because you guys are both educated and smart and intelligent people, and you can go any way that you go with it. And that is the whole point. So people are like, "Oh, I got to know everything." No, we're just going to talk about what you got and what you know already, right? And that's why I like is it's the videos you stand. It's you two guys talking about a specific topic back and forth.
Right.
And that's it is very conversational, exactly, and that allows people to.
One thing too is that I want to say that. It's very important to align yourself and be close to somebody that's trying to get you to, to the next level.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not going to say just accountability, but really even partner up and committing that time with another person so you could both kind of advance. Because that's part of like scaling a business is influencing people, getting people under your wing, like John Maxwell talks about, building them up. And then as you build them up, you're building yourself up too. You're all growing. And that's part of the mindset here. Even we have one intern and one production guy. We try to do the same thing to them. How can I help you? What is your goal? Okay, I know that this is maybe not long-term, but how can I help you and with your skills and advance that? How can I connect you with people that I know? So that's kind of like the same attitude I carried throughout, like, our company. So
it's the rising tide raises all ships. And then if you can, how you can help influence everybody, make your staff more marketable. It's a win-win. It's that vested, hey, I really want you to do well in an age where people are very cutthroat. And let's face it, most real estate investors, realtors, mortgage brokers, wholesalers, fix and flippers, and you're in San Diego, they slice your grandmother's throat for a 4-cap. All right. It gets a little crazy out there.
All about me.
I mean? And the note space is different. And I got to give a big shout out to Desi. Obviously, he's been doing video for a little while. Started his Monday night webinars an hour before mine, which I kind of cracked up about, which is kind of fun. But that's the thing. It's just conversations, answering questions. It's a great way to answer that same question 1,000 times with one take versus having to do it yourself individually, right?
Right.
Have you? And I already know the answer to this. You've mentioned a little bit there. What kind of views, what kind of responsiveness, maybe how many people have connected with you on LinkedIn? What's the numbers, kind of the numbers behind the video side of things? You guys keep track?
Every time we put a LinkedIn Square video together, we get a lot of engagements, and from that we take it to the we message, and then from that I would say like maybe 2 conversations for every post that we make. Solid conversations. The people say, how can I connect you? Or I'm looking forward to invest, or I'm just gonna watch you for a little bit, because I know you're out there. I know you're serious about it. I just want to bet you just a little bit more before I, put the, give you the green light. So,
well, and that's the biggest thing. I think so many people with videos, we see that stuff like, hey, when somebody reaches out, it's not usually day 1, it's day 30, day 90, day 180, because they've been following you to see if you're consistent enough. And I don't think a lot of people don't follow through with the consistency of posting on a regular basis and just staying top of mind with everything. And that's one of the things I love. You're taking these short videos, which I can like, oh, that was a longer conversation. They sliced and diced up and replicated it in a couple of different ways, which is beautiful stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
What now with your guys being located in one of the most, as I say, Garden of Eden in San Diego for the most part, although you've got a governor who's from hell. We won't go for there.
Needs a prayer for sure.
Yeah. Exactly. He needs a prayer. You're taxed because you've got all that great weather. You got a weather tax.
Oh yeah, we have to do something. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. So have you with your note business? Let's dive in a little bit. Do you have any plans as you're like doing case study videos on specific properties? Have you started targeting and talking about different markets, trying to attract investors or deals in those areas, or is that on the horizon?
Well, that's what we're doing right now. We're honestly right now we've been spending a little bit of time trying to connect with more asset managers and bank asset managers just to try to locate more deals.
Yeah.
Because in our business, there's 2 things we need: is deals and money, all the time, all the time. And right now, it's been a little bit difficult finding more real deals, because there's people out there paying more than what they should be paying for these things. So that's where we're running into some challenges, but we're still digging. We talk to Desi at least once a week and still do a little strategy session with him, and just we're just trying to connect the two dots. That's
yeah. The low hanging fruit, the websites that are out there, those are obviously all, I think, so overpriced.
Yeah.
Because you get a lack of inventory, and for most of those investors, it's a lack of marketing. They're relying solely on those places. And you mentioned something. You're reaching out to banks actively. One thing that we found worked really well was when we sent an invite, we included a short 2-minute pitch video about our company or what we were doing, and that worked really well. And an easy thing for you guys to do through Octopus or some sort of CRM through LinkedIn is just, hey, in a minute, here's what our company's about versus the education side. That works really well. And then you start seeing, especially it's a private video or an unlisted video, you can see how many asset managers have seen it. But that's the thing, is you stand out from the crowd because you're doing something more than, hi, let's connect.
Right.
And most people.
I like doing voice messages.
Yeah.
It throws people off guard. And they respond through text, and I still do another voice. And they're like, you know what? Let's get in the call. And they're like, I'm just responding to you because of the voice message. I'm like, thank you. Cool. Sounds good.
But that's
right. Yeah.
Exactly. But that's a little step most people won't do.
Exactly.
A voice message or a text message saying, hi, I like to do a short little video and send it over to people to watch, and that throws them off. Well, there you go. Steal away.
There you go. Same to you. So
well, exactly. So that's the thing. Let's dive in a little bit of this, because the business you guys have been doing, you're doing a great job marketing. You're breaking down and talking with asset managers about stuff there. What are your plans for 2021 with your marketing? If you don't give away any of the golden goose juice or stuff like that, but with what you've seen so far, the results, what's kind of your process? Because I'm sure you've already planned out a big chunk of the next 90 days or so.
Right.
Yeah. I think kind of your focus for that.
Yeah, I think when in the marketing piece, we could always do more. We're looking to either hire or outsource more of the stuff that we're trying to focus on, just because we're trying to be more engaging on LinkedIn. My goal is to post about 5+ times a day on LinkedIn alone, just to bring that engagement. We want to make sure it's real engagement. It's not just like, here's a post, right? We really want to trying to make sure that if we put stuff out there, that everything that we put out there is going to be really good. Yeah. So therefore, like, outsourcing that stuff may be a little bit difficult. My goal right now is to recruit people that I know that are really skilled, but I'm just trying to influence them to come under me so I could, teach them some stuff. I have a guy that went viral on TikTok. He has like 4 million views. Really great guy, really humble guy. And we're going to meet up with them next week. And we're going to talk about like marketing a little bit. Maybe, I'm going to bring something else to the table for him, but he still could keep on doing his TikTok stuff, right? So that sort of stuff. So our plan for 2021 is really to build up people and to, do more YouTube videos, do more webinars, do more. We're launching our podcast here soon, like in a week or two. So our marketing plan for 2021 is intense. Intense.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Shaunn, besides the marketing side, we talked about assets and stuff like that. Where you guys, as you're launching and doing things this year, we all have like financial goals. You guys have talked about what kind of goals you're looking for. You're looking for reperforming? Are you looking for notes that you can take back and foreclose and get bigger checks? A mixture of the two? What's kind of been your guys' goals for that, Shaunn?
We're actually looking at a mixture of the two as far as non-performing and performing. Just building up a portfolio of performing, just so that consistent check comes in.
Yeah.
And then grab the non-performing to, make those bigger checks come in at times. Because with us, with non-performing, our biggest thing is trying to get people back on track. If we can. That's our our secondary option is foreclosing. Our primary option is trying to just get people back on track. And we know going into 2021, there's going to be a lot of it. As it's already on the horizon. We can see it coming. Right now is the calm before the storm. And we know that. So that's what we see, that we're going to be able to help a lot of people stay in their homes, and in some cases, at least, that way they can walk away with dignity and, and maybe get into a home later on down the line. But that's our goal. So,
yeah, 24 months to get a new mortgage is better than 7 years in a foreclosure, right?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about it a little bit. So you guys are looking at stuff there. Are you buying stuff in San Diego, or you buying mostly elsewhere?
Outside of San Diego.
Yeah.
San Diego, California is way too expensive. Even though we are negotiating a note right now on a multifamily in LA, it's not going well because the bank is asking too much. But we're see if we can knock them off the ledge. But mostly
give them 2 weeks. And then counter it back. Give them 2 weeks and say if you can close by year end. I've always found that being a good end of the year.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. So we can close by December 27th, not the first of the year. So that often helps things. But so looking at other places though, predominantly.
Primary the Southeast, the Midwest. We feel that we see that we can get a lot better deals. Our money can stretch in those areas, overall. So yeah,
big time.
Yeah,
big time. So let's talk about the money side of raising capital side. You guys are in the land of milk and honey when it comes to a lot of investors having fun. I think last time I checked, there's like 59,000 people with an IRA in the San Diego County area, and 70% of them have over 150 grand. Mm-hmm. How are you guys approaching that in the raising capital side? You're networking there local, if you can network, are you talking to people at churches? The videos are part of that to get the word out, but how's the capital raising coming for you guys?
We're actually have been connecting with a few custodians that have reached out to us because of our videos, because of the things that we're doing. So we're actually going to be on a couple of platforms coming up soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Hang on, everybody. You hear that? They're out there sharing their valuable information, and self-directed IRA custodians or retirement companies are reaching out to them to share their message to their clients.
Yeah.
Right. And then
Go ahead.
Yeah, some guy yesterday was like, "Hey, put together a 7-minute video. We're gonna promote you guys in our page for like a month or something like that." Yeah. I'm like, okay,
all right.
Cha-ching, baby. Cha-ching. That's like shooting fish in a barrel. Hang on. All right. but best $10 anybody could ever buy is a sound machine. But anyway.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah.
So that's a beautiful, but that's what I'm trying to, and that's one of the things out there. There are so many vendors. Vendors are a great way to leverage in raising capital. Any type of vendor in the real estate or the note investing space or in the finance space, self-directed IRA investors, servicing companies, BPO companies, realtors, investors, especially on the commercial side. If you guys are talking some commercial deals, talking to commercial realtors, I thought that was as a potential option, because I think that's the biggest opportunity we're going to see first and foremost in the next 90 days is more commercial debt versus your single family residential stuff as they continue to kick the can down 2021, right?
Right, big time. Right. Yeah. And you talk about 401k holders, people that have retirement accounts. The calculation in the nation is about $11 trillion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's huge, right?
I mean, that's close to our national debt. That's like half.
Yeah.
The visible national debt.
Yeah, not that fuzzy math. Okay.
No. Like,
But that's the thing. That's another thing too that most people don't know. If they have a traditional 401k, there's actually a new legislation that's come out that they can take a big chunk of what's in their 401k and move that into a self-directed IRA custodian to invest with outside of their 401k. Now, this will be based on their contributions. It's not going to be on stock price or any matching stuff like that. But still, that can be a sizable amount that's sitting out there that people need to know about. And then you guys are doing a great job in educating when it comes to that.
Yeah. That's our goal.
So we're trying. That's our goal. We know most people with the money that they have in their 401k, if they're just relying on that to grow, they will not have enough money to retire.
Yeah. No. So. Well, that's a beautiful thing. I've always talked about what I love about notes and the ex-financial advisor in me back years ago, you always, you see, and banks do such a great job in brainwashing individuals in America. You know, oh, if you want to retire at 65 and you're going to make 8% on the front end, but you want to retire and make 4%, you need to have $4 million saved or $8 million saved. And that's depressing right off the bat, because that seems like such an abnormal. But you said something, I want to make sure and bring this up and reiterate this, Shaunn. You talked about the idea of taking down performing notes to bring in the capital, to cover the bills, to cover the expenses, basically on autopilot, right?
Right.
Now, if you think about, if you had $5 million in the bank and you need to make 6% on that, what is that, 30 grand a year, roughly, something like that?
Yeah.
30 grand a year. How many performing notes at $500 a month do you need to have for that? Think about that. Most people, it's reverse engineering that retirement goal is what I'm trying to get. You don't need 4 million in the bank. You need 20 performing notes, or you need 30 performing notes to build that residual income on a regular basis, so you can technically retire at 35 versus death 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's a big thing. I think so many people don't realize this. And here in the note space, you know, this is the one thing I found when I was talking with people is, as an ex-banker, when you start approaching people and telling them that, hey, they can make 8 to 12% on their money, they listen to that bank. Oh, that's got to be risk. What are you, in the cannabis industry? Right. What are you doing? You know, but that's another thing in California that you don't have in other places, tapping into cannabis to perform notes.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Did I hit a button there? Have you guys already had conversations like that?
No.
Oh, okay, all right. I was about, that's what you got, some high times, some high returns.
We'll skip on that.
Well, I had a bank approach me that had a cannabis, a loan on a cannabis a grow house, and then a distribution center they wanted to get off their books.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, well, okay. You know, I don't know if I want to get into that yet, but we'll see how it goes. It'll be interesting to see. But that neck of the woods, I mean, there's so much stuff on the West Coast that's different to other parts of the United States. They have that opportunity for people with making money that they need, you know, and need a place to put it, right?
Right. Right.
Legally. So where is, you guys got family, got kids, you know, or or is it just you two guys, just two wild and crazy guys buying notes?
Trying to take over the world? No. I've been married for now close to 6 years. I have a 5-year-old daughter. Friends and family, grew up and born and raised in Oceanside, still here. So
nice.
Pretty much where my roots are. But I'm looking to move out of state again. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. For me, it's me and my wife. We both grew up. She grew up here in San Diego. That's why I'm here. I grew up in Los Angeles County. So, you know, we're just trying to grow this business, and we're, like he said, we're thinking about moving outside of California, with like a lot of us who are in business, especially.
Texas is closed, by the way. Texas is closed. Just so you
know. No way. It's not, but I like guns. What are you talking about?
There you go. All right. We'll let you in. We'll let you in. Hang on. But the thing it brings me, and I just wanted to out there too, you guys, you got a little one. You know, if you started looking at like ESAs, educational savings accounts, or talking about that with people, because that, you know, self-directing ESAs is one of the nice things. We've got a client of ours that has taken like 5 to 10 of her friends that they've put in ESAs, and they're funding their kids' education as a group, going in and you know, 10 grand on a deal together, splitting up and do some stuff like that for you. And oftentimes those smaller amounts, while it can be kind of be careful about the people you're borrowing that money from. They can be a PETA, pain in the ass, but it's still an opportunity to put some things to work and helping people grow on that stuff there. And if you got kids, and that's an easy kind of transition, right, you know, and doing that kind of stuff there for you. And you know, even in churches too, a lot of churches are looking for stuff. Here's the thing. I just thought of something here, and I got to tell you a funny story here. We're talking. So years ago, I mean, this is when I first started off. I was in Pittsburgh, and I was working with an investor out in Pittsburgh. And the guy calls me up as we're coaching when I'm out there for 4 days. He's like, "Hey, we're going to go meet with my pastor." I'm like, "Okay, great." And so we're going to go to this triplex, okay? And then we meet the minister there, and he looks like Mean Joe Graham. He's like 7 foot tall, just looked. I seriously, I was like, "Are you a minister? Are you a defensive end? For the Steelers?" And he goes, "Well, we were gifted this property, and I'm not in the real estate space. Would you buy it so that we can convert that property into funds?" And a lot of banks, I know you guys, church is a big thing for you. That's why I bring it up. But a lot of times, churches are given property they can't do anything with. So we go and knock on. We open the door. We go on the first floor. It was kind of a central area with like rooms off the side of it. And it's a funny story here. He was like, realtors, investors here, don't shoot us, because there was like drugs and other things going on in the neighborhood. So we hear rustling up on the floor above. So we go up the second floor, peek around the corner, nothing there. You tell somebody like had some cans, stuff like there. We still hear this rustling on the third floor. So we go up the third floor and there's these 4 rooms off of it. And there's this noise coming from the main room. So this big minister guy just walked over. I mean, his thighs were as big as my freaking circumference, okay? He goes over and he tries the door and it's locked, but you hear commotion going on there. So he kicks the door open.
Man.
Kicks the door open. It almost comes off the hinges. It flies open. Inside of that are 2 homeless people, high as a kite, jaybird naked, just going at it. They were having some fun, okay?
Oh, wow.
Fornicating on the floor. And we're laughing. I'm like, oh my God. And they're just like, don't care. They crawl out the window. And my investor's like, oh my God. And the guy without a beat, the minister just goes, so you want to buy the place or what, man? Come on. It could be cash flow in there on an hourly basis. My investor ended up buying that property, converted it. I mean, got it for a steal deal, but made a lot of money on it. And that's, you see things like that. I think there's a big untapped thing with church, and just sharing that just came to mind. Sorry, and I'm taking over the episode here, but
boom, knocking on doors.
Oh yeah, I mean nobody with it. I said you must have a pretty good congregation, and he goes, "Why do you say that?" I said, "I bet they're scared not to show up."
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people, a lot of places that you're just getting the word out and things like that. If you guys are doing such a great job with the videos and the sharing and documenting your journey, you know what I mean? You set some big goals. You're doing a great job. You're leveraging other professionals to help you do that instead of you spending time there. You've got your goals to cover your bases. I just want to put this out there because so many people are listening out here who are scared to pull that trigger to leave their job like you did, William.
Yeah.
What was the conversation with your wife that night when you came home? Honey, I think I'm going to leave the job to go hang with Shaunn 24 hours a day.
My wife is like, it makes sense. Do it. Just like that.
Yeah.
It's just because she knew the frustration. I read a book called Who Moved My Cheese?
Oh, that's such a great one. Yeah.
From that book, I realized that everywhere I've been, like I'm the type of person I'm always showing up and I'm trying to see how I could get a raise, how I could get a promotion, how I could scale up. But I always found that that always put me in a box. It's like, yeah, that's great that you want to do that, but here's your box. And I'm like, no, I'm trying to do more. I'm like, you don't get paid for that. And I don't want you to do that either. Here you go. Just stay in the box. The last job that I had was like, in a sense, my dream job because I was helping government contractors with a lot of stuff. I spend my time looking at, Blackhawks and tactical training, guys. I mean, government contractors, right? Yeah. And I'm reaching out to these folks, having meetings. And when I connected with Shaunn, that's what was really hard for me to quit because I'm like, I have security. The main, the CEO, the VP, everyone loved me. They want to do stuff together with me, right? To do more outreach in the marketing side. And I'm big on networking and connection, going to conferences. So they're like, hey, please don't leave. Like, we got a spot for you. But for me, I'm like, you know what? I need to be in a place where I could, start my own thing and really scale up and have no boundaries, right? Not be limited. Mm-hmm. And then just for me, it just made sense just because, going back to my mentor in the very beginning, he's like, why don't you have your own business? Yeah. I'm like, okay, having a business on what? Like, what do I do? Right? Like, man, you're so skilled. Go do real estate. But he's not in real estate, right? He's more on the video side of it. But he's like, you need to start your own thing. And now I realized after reading that book, Who Moved My Cheese, that yes, everywhere I went, the compensation is always going to change. I'm always going to either get laid off or something's always going to happen. I'm never going to have fully control of it, even if it's a secure job.
Well, that's a big thing too. The end of the year, you work your butt off to maybe get a 4% increase in pay for a lot of times. That was always the frustrating thing to me. I could be number one, and the guy next to me didn't do half of what I did, and he got basically the same basic raise. And I'm like, why am I doing it when somebody else is going to control my growth? You guys both have found real estate, notes, whatever it might be, commercial, to help you. Grab your cheese versus letting somebody else move it, right?
Right. And I guess my biggest advice for people that are stuck in that place of like, I don't want to quit my job because this is security. The reward is way bigger than, the security, right? Just because that usually holds us back where I'm always going to have this. Well, what if you don't have that in 5 years and 10 years or prior to you retiring, whatever the case, right?
Right.
Over here, you could actually start not only collecting money, good money, but start helping other people, right? Your communities, other business professionals, churches, do more outreach, because we have a big vision, and the business side is just like 1/3 of it.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you said that. I think back to conversations, and when you think about so many people, they fall into that fear of scarcity. I don't have much. I can't raise capital. Who's going to lend me money? Leaving a job where I'm getting a steady paycheck, I'll take that cheese, but you're going to confine me to the trap.
Exactly. I mean? And we're going against the grain just because, I mean, Shaunn's Black, I'm Latino, and it's like, you can't get, worse than that, right? In a sense. Like,
what are you talking about? I don't see mortgage. You know what? Mortgage notes are colorblind. That's the thing. I look at it.
But people think it's only white people that are doing it, and like Black people and Latinos don't have a shot. Like they're not gonna be able to influence. They're not gonna be able to persuade any investor. None of that. That's the mentality that a lot of people have.
And I mean, it's just the lie that we've been fed.
Yep.
And that's one of our biggest goals is our communities helping people understand that, you can do this just as well as someone else. Stop letting someone tell you that because of who you are, you can't be successful. So.
That's it. We live in such a financially uneducated society.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And when you look at school districts and things like that, it's no longer about acceleration. It's what's the base floor that we can get everybody to pass and just kind of kick it down the road, let them get out there. And then they're unprepared. They're not understanding. And if wealth and financial literacy isn't taught from your parents, because they weren't taught it. My parents weren't. I mean, my parents were entrepreneurs, but we struggled, things like that. All the things I had to learn was because I went and bought a book. I had to read it. I started feeding my mind and sharing those same things with friends and family. What was that, William?
What book was it?
Oh, come on. Rich Dad, Poor Dad was the first one.
Oh, yeah. I knew it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I'm very blessed. I've met Robert Kiyosaki, and Sharon Lecter, who's the co-author, is a friend of mine. Just absolutely amazing. She's out of Arizona, has such a huge drive for helping people with financial literacy out there. And that's one of the biggest things is if you ever get a chance to read Think and Grow Rich, 3 Feet from Gold, which is written by Greg Reed. And Greg lives in La Jolla, not too far from you guys there in the San Diego area. And then Think and Grow Rich, Outwitting the Devil, I think is one of the most valuable books that you could read out there, because it talks about mindset. You guys obviously very strong mentally. You're faith-based, which is great. You believe in what God has set out for us all. I mean, hey, we plan and God laughs, but we're all meant for bigger and better things out there than what society puts us in there. And that's the thing is, I love what's going on. You guys are doing in the market. You're doing great stuff. You're showing it how to be done. You're just two normal guys. You know what I mean? When it said, hey, I'm a Latino, I'm a Black guy. We're having fun doing this.
Oh, big time.
We're not only making differences in our lives and our families, but the communities that we end up helping by buying the notes or negotiating, trying to keep people in their houses if you can. Obviously, it's always our first goal if you can. So that's the beautiful thing. I think you guys have such a great untapped market in a couple of reasons. Especially the Latino market, both the Hispanic and the Black communities, very tight-knit family models, you know what I mean? Very big. I can remember, being a banker and a bank here in Austin, Texas, downtown, which is 90% of the clientele was Hispanic or Spanish speaking. And yo hablo un poquito español, all right? Yo hablo muy bien con más cervezas, por favor, okay? But that's the thing, is that when you reach out to them and share knowledge, share trustworthy stuff, they realize you're really trying to help them. Oh my God, the waves of people coming in, the waves of people that you can help support. Because let's face it, people will stock money in their mattresses, and you'll have really take care of their house. They pay for their house first. They'll have 2-3 families, which is totally great, but they're saving money. They got cash to put something to work, right?
Big time.
Yeah.
And it's such an opportunity for you guys to really put that money to work and really help them out there.
Yeah, I see that in the transportation industry too. As soon as you start connecting, helping someone, they spread the word like wildfire. So, yep, I'm right there with you.
Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. What's the best way for our audience to follow up with what you guys are doing or connect with you if they're looking to find more information or connect with you there locally or internationally?
Check out our YouTube channel, Cash Flow Generation. Our website is swcashflowgen.com. Look us up on our podcast. We'll be releasing soon. So yeah, we're out there. Check us LinkedIn. Yep. LinkedIn is the biggest.
That was like I was saying that. Like, what the heck?
Wait for that too.
Yeah,
come on, Shaunn, get it together.
LinkedIn is the biggest place you can connect with us. Yeah, we love connecting with people there, especially. So follow us there. You know our names. Yep. That we're not using any aliases there.
Doesn't it bother you? There's people that do that. Doesn't it just drive you bonkers?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Or they'll use a different initial for a first name because they know people are craziness. It's instead of big money, it's no money rapper.
Yeah.
Well, but that's one big thing I think is you guys are doing a great job. You're normal guy. I mean, everybody's pretty normal in the note space for the most part because you have those conversations. You guys have a great background. You've got a good solid foundation. I'm really excited at what 2021 holds for you too, and your families and communities and stuff like that. So we may need to have you back on at a later date. And
you have to. Yeah.
Good stuff there. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for coming on the Note Closer Show, man. We look forward to it. We'll put the links to their LinkedIn profiles and websites, everything in the show notes. But listen to what they said. You heard guys and gals out there in Note Nation. You heard some nuggets on here of getting started and 30 days of short videos or leveraging LinkedIn and YouTube where people are. Get off the negative time suck and black hole that Facebook can be for you and really start sharing. And you heard them both. They've got goals. They got dreams. They're focused on things. If you're waiting to start something, just get out there and do it. You don't have to go cold turkey, quit your job overnight, but start building a plan of action. Talk with your family, talk with your friends, and leverage. Find somebody, and I think that's one of the most important things that these two guys did not share, but a little bit, is they're accountable to each other. At the end of the day, many of us will give up on our goals because we don't have anybody to be accountable for. And if you've got somebody there who's a friend in a family who's not afraid to hold your feet to the fire or give you shit if you don't come through on it, an accountability partner is one of the most valuable things to find success. And finding mentors. You heard them talk about their mentors and how important that is in helping them get off and rock and roll. So we encourage you guys, go out, take some action, and we look forward to seeing you all at the top, everybody. Bye.